Hello everybody, Pyrex here, going on another adventure. I'm here at the Quebec Run Wild Area at the North Gate parking lot, and today I think I'm going to take the Long Trail Loop just to see what that's kind of like. I've been on it before, but not this time of year. So if you can look on the map, you'll see this is where I'm at here at the parking lot. I got to go back across the road. Gonna go up here past the Whitetail Trail all the way down, follow the creek, and then come back up onto the Miller Trail back into the parking lot. So that's the plan today. It's looking like it's probably only maybe about a mile and a quarter or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and gear up, and then we'll just head out on the trail. Well, it's real peaceful anyways out here. The birds are all singing and chipmunks are running around like crazy, and this is just a parking lot area, but it's still pretty nice. There's the Jeep, of course. The Hess Trail is right over there. That's where that starts. And the Miller Trail is right over here. So that's where I'll be coming out at the end of the hike. So, but in order to go on the long run trail, we got to go across the road up here. Yeah. Ooh, goodness gracious. I haven't been out much, so. And I'm really hoping that it's a little early yet, but I'm hoping that maybe we'll find some early blooming mountain laurel. Because you can see these are just now starting to get their flower buds. But hopefully we'll find some in a sunny location that started a little bit early. All right, I'll go ahead and get across the road here, get on the trail, and see what it's like. I was walking along and I noticed something that looks so uniquely symmetrical and interesting, a plant that I'm not familiar with, but it's real pretty. You can see it's got 4 leaves and they're up on those stalks like that, but I've never seen a plant like that, so I'm kind of wondering what exactly it is. Doesn't seem to have any flowers, but it looked really cool, so thought I'd just get a little quick shot of that. Now, I also noticed that these ferns here, the way they're growing like little trees. See that? I haven't seen ferns like this either. It's kind of interesting the way they're growing. This whole little patch of them here. But usually they come out from the base and there's a whole bunch, but this is just an interesting, I guess that's one stand, one stalk. But this one definitely, no, it's one stalk too. I've never quite seen ferns like that either. Already, I'm barely getting out of the parking lot, and I'm already finding all kinds of interesting stuff. So, ooh, I can already tell this is going to be a kind of a tough trail. It may not look so steep in the camera, but it goes. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But I stopped. I started the film again just to point out this on this rock. We got some lichen, which you don't see. I don't see it too often here in Pennsylvania, but it's the leafy type. It's hard and firm, but yeah, this is definitely a interesting type of lichen that grows on the rocks. But this is the only time I've actually seen it here in PA. I've seen a lot of it up in New England, but and also we got moss on the rocks. But got a neat little rock formation here, like a little critter cave or something there, with some rhododendron growing on top. And then some more of that mountain laurel right next to it. Oh, this one's a little bit farther along than the others. In fact, that one's almost starting to open. But like I said, hopefully we'll get some blooms in there. I haven't seen too many other wildflowers other than dandelions and fleabane, but I did manage to call the wildlife service, and on my last video exploring the plantation trail, I read the sign and it said not to go off the trail and not to pick stuff. But I called the forestry to find out about camping here and, you know, fire permits and all that kind of stuff. And I asked her if it was okay to forage for personal use, you know, for just edible greens and stuff. And she said, yes, that's perfectly fine. And I also asked if it's okay to go off trail, and she said that too is okay, that you can do it, but it's not recommended. So that's the thing, you know, I like to go in out of the way places that, you see where the chipmunks were here. Those little chipmunks are, like I said, they're running around everywhere. I haven't gotten any close to me yet, but yeah, but so a little bit of misinformation on that last video for the Quebec Run Wild Area. It is allowable to forage for personal consumption, and it is okay, but not recommended to hike off trail. Okay, well, I'll get a little further down the trail, see if we find anything else interesting. Maybe we'll even see a bear or some deer or something. This looked kind of funny to me. I saw this patch of lichen here. Looks kind of like a turkey with the big tail feathers and his head here and the body there. A little foot on the left. I just thought it looked like a wild turkey in display, and I just wanted to take a little picture of that. It's real peaceful, nice and cool today. It's 50-something degrees right now. The trail goes that way. And like I said, it's just about a mile, this little loop trail. So, all right, just wanted to, thought you guys might get a laugh out of that turkey lichen, so, okay. So I'm about a quarter mile in, about 1/5 of the way, and so far the whole entire way has been nothing but fern fields everywhere. Not a lot of underbrush, a few little trees, but yeah, not a whole lot of greenbrier or other shrubs like that, but it's been mostly like this. And these are the kind of ferns I was thinking about. See how they grow in clusters like that at the bottom, and yeah, you got a big cluster there, and then they come up. Those other ones were more like little trees. I see another chipmunk running around up there. Like I said, there's tons of chipmunks up here for some reason. At least it's nice and open so that you can see, because a lot of the forests in Pennsylvania around here, they're really full of thickets and, like I said, underbrush and stuff like that, and it makes it harder to see. Now down here by the creek, if I remember correctly, it's been a couple years since I've been up here, but down here by the creek, there's tons of rhododendrons, and of course that really blocks your view of the surrounding areas. But yeah, here you can just see forever down in here. Like I said, not a whole lot of underbrush, not a whole lot of undergrowth. All right, so far it's just a nice peaceful little hike. I did see one hawk. I couldn't quite tell what kind it was. It was either a sharp-shinned or a, I think, short-tail. They look kind of similar, I think, those two. But yeah, he was like right on the side of the trail, and then he flew up. But of course I had the camera off, so you know, you always miss the good shots. Isn't that how it works? Oh, there's a nice rock formation up there. I'm gonna see if I can figure out finally how this zoom thing works. That almost looks like a little building up there. Let's get down here a little bit farther, and yeah, that's a neat looking rock. Let's see if I can zoom in. No. Zoom. Hello. I can never figure out how to do it. I'm gonna try something real quick here. That didn't work. And I don't understand how the zoom feature on this thing works. I can zoom in whenever it's not recording, but can't seem to get it to go whenever it's... Oh well, maybe one day I'll figure it out. So as you can see, now that we're almost down to the creek, it's starting to get all that underbrush, you know, like I was talking about, now that there's more water and everything. And see, it's a big difference in how far you can actually see. And here's a little spring coming down here. There's another big rock formation up there, another little chipmunk running around. Like I said, I don't know, there's just tons of chipmunks up here. I must have seen at least 50 of them already just along the trail here. Oh my goodness, I don't want to fall in the drink. Oh, definitely want to be careful around here. Plus I gotta watch for snakes. I mean, it's still pretty cool, so they're probably not out here in the cooler areas, probably sunning themselves on rocks. Got some little mushrooms. I've been seeing a lot of these little guys here. Gilled mushrooms. Not really a whole lot of wildflowers. Yeah, let's see, here's some more there. Little guys there. Yeah, there's a lot of these kind of mushrooms here. But here's more, a lot of different kind of ferns. 2 or 3 different kinds at least. But yeah, definitely, anytime there's a water source, it just gets really filled in like this and harder to see. Those uplands that I was in earlier, they're pretty open. Yeah, I should be down to the main creek here pretty soon. So here's another strange thing fern-wise that I never noticed before, is they sent up these stalks here. I've never seen ferns do that either. Like I said, I don't know what kind of ferns these are, but I'm seeing all kinds of different things. Obviously it has something to do with seeding or fruiting, and there's a couple more around here just like it, but only a couple. And I think I see a cucumber tree over there, which is kind of a rare sight. Like I said, I wish I could get this damn thing to zoom. I keep trying, but oh well. But yeah, I wanted to get that documented, that fern, because that's another thing that, like I said, I've just never quite seen that before. It's got, and the tip of this one, well, no, that's just kind of dying off. But yeah, that's definitely another new one for me. Well, I decided to walk up here and see what this was, and don't think it's a cucumber tree. You notice that the big leaves here, but yeah, they're kind of heart-shaped, but off-centered. Maybe an empress princess tree. It doesn't have the side shoots on it though. Bark doesn't have a lot of striations or grooves on it, but I don't know what this one is. I'm gonna have to do a little research on it. It's not very big, but it's here in a little clear-cut area. Ooh, up a little slope, and it's the only one with the big leaves like that. There's no other ones around of this species, so I kind of tend to notice those things that stick out like that. A lot of blackberries flowering up here too. All right, I'm gonna get back down on the trail. Wow, I've never seen one of these before. Pennsylvania State Forest boundary. Thought that was kind of neat. I was actually off of the, I was on the private property there, I guess. Whoops. But oh well, I didn't hurt nothing, so yeah, I'll have to, like I said, I've never actually seen one of those little thingies on the trees before. I can hear the creek long run right now. You can see all those rhododendrons down there, so I'm pretty much close to it. And let me see. Oh yeah, definitely can hear it going. We've been having a lot of rain, so it should be flowing pretty good. Haven't been fishing just because, you know, the rivers, especially like up at Ohio Pile, have just been torrential, just terrible. And while that's probably good for catfishing, because they don't mind the muddy water so much, I just didn't want to go there and, you know, have to go finagling away through the woods trying to get to my fishing spots. So, oh yeah, there we go. Oh, I've gone down in elevation quite a bit, so I'm gonna have to go back up, and oh, that's not gonna be fun. So I'm gonna be huffing and puffing it later, that's for sure. Well, finally made it down to the creek proper. Got all these little worms hanging on their strings, on their webs or whatever. That's the whitetail trail, goes that way. If I wanted to, I could follow that all the way home. I'm about 10 miles from the house, but this trail goes from here, the Quebec Run Wild Area, all the way to Lick Hollow. And Lick Hollow is over there in Hopwood, and I'm in Fairchance. So it's probably about 10 miles from here to where, no, not quite that far, to the Laurel Caverns. And then I could just take the pipeline trail right down to my house. And I've actually considered just leaving the house, putting my backpack and everything on, and coming up here and camping overnight for a time or two and taking that long hike. I thought that would be kind of interesting. As you can see, there's tons of rhododendrons all everywhere. There's also mixed in here some mountain laurel right with it. So, you know, before I didn't know how to tell them apart, but now I do. And there's a really nice mix of trees in here. I mean, I haven't seen any hickories yet, but we've got tulip trees, or yellow poplar, they're also known as, a couple different kind of maples, several different types of oaks. We got yellow birch here. Yeah, these are some nice big yellow birches in here. That one's not as big as the other one, but right here it's growing right next to I think this is another tulip tree next to it. They look like they're the same tree, but they just grew side by side, and you can tell the bark is different. That's the yellow birch, and that, I think, is the tulip tree, or yellow poplar. Also some witch hazel down here, and many different kinds of ferns. I've already come across like 5 or 6. A lot of nice, pretty little violets here, too. You know, all growing in there, as you can see. I like to nibble on the leaves. They say like 3 or 4 good-sized violet leaves gives you your daily vitamin C and a lot of your vitamin A. So I munch on those all the time because they're kind of sweet. They're not bitter like dandelions. But yeah, there's a nice, really mix of different kinds of trees down here. Now I'm hoping, and I'm looking real hard, I'm hoping to find a hackberry tree somewhere around here, because I have yet to find a hackberry tree. I think I could identify it if I saw one, but I don't know. We'll see whenever I actually ever find one. Yeah, it's really nice and peaceful down here, nice and cool. No bugs other than these caterpillars hanging from strings. No spider webs to deal with, so I think I picked a pretty good day to come out. All right. See what else we come up across here. Well, I came across a nice little patch of interesting stuff. All kinds of stuff growing in here. I got a lot of like delicate ferns or sensitive ferns. It's one or the other. I think it's delicate ferns. Got these pretty little yellow flowers. I don't know what they are, but they're pretty. And tons of wild violets in here. My goodness, these leaves are huge. Yeah, it's just a nice little spot where it looks like there's runoff comes through here down this trail whenever it rains. But still a lot of those bigger yellow birches. I haven't ever seen that many in one place before. Friendship Hill has quite a few over there that I've seen, but yep, I just wanted to take some pictures of those pretty yellow flowers mostly. All right, I'll keep trekking. Well, this is fun, and I remember it too. From years ago when I was on this trail, this creek comes down, turns the trail into a creek. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get my feet wet. Hopefully I can steer around it and there's enough rocks to walk over. I won't get all wet. Here we're getting up pretty close to where there's some nice views of the creek, and also some hemlocks down here. There's I noticed, if I remember correctly, the hemlocks are growing down here. Yeah, but if I remember right, it's not like this for too long, but yeah, that creek, that little spring creek coming down, turns the trail into a creek. So, yeah, oops, whoa, hold on now. What I'd really like to see one day, too, is a hellbender. They're giant salamanders that live in these mountain creeks. They're a good indicator of how healthy the ecosystem is, because they breathe through their skin. So if, and they're big, they get like, I think they get like almost somewhere around 2 feet long or something, but they're like monstrous salamanders. Not like the mud puppies. I mean, I catch mud puppies when I'm out fishing on the Mon River all the time. And they get about 12 inches, I don't know, somewhere around there, 13, 14. But, oh goodness gracious. I thought I saw some horse tracks on this trail back there a ways, so I'm guessing this must be a multi-purpose use trail, because I'm pretty sure they were horse tracks. All right, well, this is a little rough going, so I'm gonna shut her down to navigate better. All right, so here's a nice view of the creek, and we got a nice big pool down there. I wouldn't doubt if there's a few trout in that little pool, because the lower reaches of these have native brook trout in them. But this pool, every time the last time I came here, which was the only other time I came here, it was just as full as it is now. Oh, I don't want to slip down in there. Yeah, but that's a nice deep little pool. It's got some size to it, and like I said, I would not be surprised if there was some trout down there. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and check it out, see if we can't get a picture of something down there. To check on, see if there's anything showing in that. That would be kind of cool if there was something down there. So I figure the GoPro's waterproof, so it wouldn't hurt anything to do that. Gonna head back down the trail. And here's one of those big yellow birch I was talking about. You can see it's good size, and it's got two other ones on the side. And look at how that thing is just like offshooted to the side. Looks like interesting. But sometimes they peel, sometimes they don't. I only learned about yellow birch just this last year. I didn't realize it when, like, I can look back over the years and like hikes on Ohio Pile and stuff, and I can remember coming across yellow birch, but that was in the early years. A lot of grapevines all taken over up there. Yeah, it's pretty wild in here. Definitely pretty, and there's our first little hemlock right there in front of me. There's a big one behind it. I think that, no, it's not a hickory. That's some kind of, I don't know what that one is. That one right there. It's like bigger leaves, round. Not a hickory. It looks like it could be, I don't know, could be an elm, a slippery elm or a Siberian elm, but alrighty. Yeah, those are some really not, I mean, the creek, when I first came up to it up there, it was only about the size of the one I was walking on back here that turned into the trail. That was way up there, but now I've already passed about 5 or 6 of those little springs, and they've added to it, and you see how big the creek has gotten now. You can see it maybe down there. Well, not as much rhododendron down here as there was, but it's still real pretty down there. Definitely nice to see. And oh, look at that big, beautiful hemlock. Oh my God, that thing is gorgeous. And this one over here too. That hemlock is nice too behind this yellow birch. Yeah, like I said, I remembered there were some nice hemlocks down here, and they kind of snuck up on me. I wasn't expecting them, and boom, all of a sudden there they were. All right, we're getting close to the end of the creekside area of this trail. That means I'm about 3/4 of the way through. Excuse me. So then it's going to be all uphill from there, and ooh, that's not going to be fun, folks. So I'll try to kind of bypass that unless there's something interesting to see, just because you don't need to see me huffing and puffing and sweating up a storm. So alrighty. There's another nice view of the creek. Got a little cliff right here next to the trail, and there's the creek down there. There's a nice little pool down there. Yeah. Got a nice flow to this creek. It probably doesn't flow this good in the summertime, but since we had all that rain, We got a lot of water. A lot of rocks, a lot of rock formations too. I've been passing them by, and usually I take more pictures of rock formations because rock formations are definitely my thing. But like this here, this stuff like this just amazes me. Here you've got a hemlock and a yellow birch growing on top of this rock, you know, right on top of the rock, and sending their roots down here to secure them, sending their roots on both sides. But isn't that something? I mean, that's just amazing to me that them big old trees can live on top of a rock like that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one thing I'm very glad about, is that I've never lost my appreciation and sense of beauty of nature. That's one thing that's been consistent in my whole life. Other attitudes have changed, you know, different ideas about different things, but that's one thing that has been consistent all throughout my life. So I am definitely grateful for that, and I'm glad that I could share a little bit of my love for nature and beauty with y'all. Another mushroom growing right there, and a bunch of baby ones after it. But yeah, and like I said, just every little thing just fascinates and intrigues me. The way nature grow, you know, the trees and stuff grow in different patterns, and just all kinds of neat stuff. So alrighty, we'll see what's up here further. Woo-wee, that's a hike, let me tell you. I was way down there, the trail's way down there, and had to stop and take a rest, but I thought, why not show this here? We've got 4 different kinds of ferns at least here. We got the sword fern variety, we got the Christmas tree or bracken variety, and then we got another one that's similar. I think that's a little bit different species. You can see how it's rounded at the ends instead of pointed. And then we've got the old delicate ferns over here. I think it's delicate ferns, but, and of course some of them are still sending up their shooter things, like I said. But yeah, 4 different kinds of ferns all right here. At least 4. 4 that are obviously different, possibly more. But yeah, I needed to take a break, so I figured, you know, get a nice view of this stuff here. Boy, look at that. Tell you, walking through the woods here, this kind of reminds me of, you know, the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy, where they're walking through the wilds and stuff like that. Of course, they had New Zealand, they had all kinds of neat different environments there. Yeah, but I kind of feel like them dwarves in the Hobbit going over the mountains. How does that song go? Let's see. Far over the misty mountains cold. Something like that, right? Anyways, caught my breath again, so yeah. 2 dungeons deep and caverns old. Of course, I don't have the best singing voice, but just something came to mind. Ooh, it's a lot easier. They made this into a switchback up here, so there was one little rise that was kind of steep to climb, but it looks pretty gradual. I think there's one more high, you know, steep climb up here, but yeah, because I'm almost at the end. The road's just up here at the top of the ridge there. And it's a good thing because the battery's almost dead. I'm down to 20%, so I think I'll save it till the end and then just do a little outro and we'll be done. This is pretty cool. That bumblebee buzzing, I can hear him. It looks like a little wood nymph village or something, a little fairy village. All these little holes here look like little houses where the wood fairies and wood nymphs and brownies and pixies and all that live. Just thought that was kind of neat. That's a, what is that? That's some kind of maple. Looks like a sugar maple. Yep, could be wrong, but there's a lot of different kind of maples, but that's what it looks like the most to me. Ooh, goodness gracious. Yeah, almost to the top. But, ooh, all these ferns. My goodness. Just fields and fields and fields of ferns. Yep. These higher elevations, the trees are slightly changing. Like this, got a red oak right here, I think. Or is that a red oak? Bark is awful blocky, awful ridged. But the leaves up there look like red oak. Oh, goodness gracious. Wait a minute. I don't think I'm on the trail. I don't see any blazes. I'm not sure if this is the trail or this is the trail. Which one is it? Oh, there's a blaze up there. Good thing I was paying attention. Oh boy, steep one, so just as I turn the camera off, I look down and I spot something interesting you don't see very much of. We got some bear corn here. It's definitely an interesting plant. It's just started here. I don't know that much about it. I just know that I've only seen it like one or two other times in all the years that I've been up, you know, out hiking around and everything. So again, another interesting thing. Whew, I'm already winded. Whew, man, that was a nice steep hike, let me tell you. But I finally made it to the top. I'm at the road. I could go up that way, right back to the parking lot, or I could continue here on the long run trail. There's no big slopes up or down from here on out. It's a little bit up and down, but I think I'll just stay on the trail. Now we're getting on a southern facing slope. Well, a southwestern facing slope, so we'll probably see some different kind of trees. I'm already noticing that there's a lot of almost immediate change. There's a lot of chestnut oaks here, and the mountain laurels here, probably because they get a little more sun, they're a little bit farther along. As you can see, they're getting ready to bloom. So. And what else is there? There's another tree here that, oh, goodness gracious. Whew, that was a climb, let me tell you, folks. I'm sweating up a storm. Yeah, but I didn't see any chestnut oaks over on the other side that I remember, but I see plenty of them here. And like I said, the mountain laurels, they're getting ready to bloom. We got some stuff down here on the ground, something creeping. It could either be partridge berries or wintergreen or something like that. Let me crush a leaf and see what it's like. Oh, it's wintergreen, definitely. Oh my God, that smell is amazing. Yeah, I think that's the first time I found wintergreen out in the wild. But it smells just like the chewing gum. Yeah, oh my goodness. It's edible too. Maybe I should chew on some, freshen my breath up a little bit. Oh well, I think we'll just go ahead and continue on the trail, take a couple little odd shots here and there. I was playing with the acorn here. I've got, let's see if I can do it. I'm gonna, sorry, just had to goof around and do that. All right, we'll continue on down the trail. Yeah, we definitely got a different mix of trees now, because we got a little black tupelo here, and we got some hickories coming in, and there's another black tupelo. A lot of different kind of oaks that weren't on the other side of the ridge. I think scarlet oak or pin oaks. Well, I think they're scarlet oaks, but I didn't see any of those on this side. But this is a drier ridge side, so you're naturally going to have different types of plants. And this is the first of the wintergreen that I said, and it's just carpeted everything back there. I just got out of it, but I did chew on a leaf and got that nice minty fresh breath now. So oh, and you can't mistake that smell for anything. There's a lot of little tupelos in here. Yeah, I really like the black tupelos. I think they're drupes, they're berries. I think those are edible, but I'm not quite sure. I have to do more research on that. But yeah, it's definitely a little drier over here. I can definitely tell that. And like I said, it's just a little ups and downs. Once you get up to the road, then the rest of the way is pretty much easy. So But I would call that an intermediate trail, you know, because I've been on some, I mean, I would call it rougher than an intermediate trail, except I've been on some trails that were really rough. And that one only had 1 or 2 areas where it was really up and down. So, but they were really steep, but they were few. Otherwise, it's just a little up and down here. So, but yeah, this is the second trail in the Quebec Run Wild Area that I've filmed. This damn fly's buzzing around my head. And oh, look at that big mushroom. Look at that big sucker. Yeah, and these yeah, like I said, on this side, these mountain laurels, they're getting a little farther along. I think they get a little more sunshine. Okay, once we hit the cutoff with the Miller Trail, which is just a short little way back to the parking lot, then I'll film that outro. Okay, well, finally made it to the Miller Trail. It's just going to be a short little walk back to the parking lot. See, there's a Miller Trail, goes both ways, long run trail that way. And yeah, that definitely gave me a workout. Oh my God, I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. That last bit of that trail was a little continual rise, so it really got me a little wiped out there. Oh, but I feel good. I'm gonna go home, take a nice shower, and make me a nice dinner. Hopefully I lost a pound or 2 on this hike and get rid of some of that winter bulge. But yep. So this was the long run trail. There's a little chipmunk up there on the rock. They don't stick around very long. But yeah, this was the long run trail. It's a loop, about a mile, maybe a little bit more. And eventually I'm planning on getting all these trails taped. Oh, look at these, are getting real pretty here. Yeah, these mountain laurels are almost ready to bloom. Always the end of May, early June. I can see the parking lot from here. So, whew, we're gonna see, there's another chipmunk down there too. Like I said, just tons of chipmunks around here. And so that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Whew, I tell you, that was a hike. Nice chestnut oak. All right, so like I said, eventually I'll get them all filmed and, you know, a little series there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned some new things about some of these plants, or if you know what some of them are that I don't, please let me know in the comments below. Feel free to like the video, subscribe, share it if you like, and God bless y'all. I'll see you next time. See ya.